I'm Tuwanda Coleman. Welcome to the Plus Side of Nashville. In 2021, the Nashville scene named the Kindling Arts Festival Best Summer Arts Festival. If you've been, then you know why. Not only is it a unique and fun event, but it also supports local artists. On today's show, we'll find out what's in store for this year's festival and some of the other ways that you can support artists through Kindling Arts Nashville. The Plus Side of Nashville starts now.
From the News Channel 5 network, this is the Plus Side of Nashville.
Festivals held in and around Nashville, but none quite like the Kindling Arts Festival. It was started by Kindling Arts Nashville, and Kindling Arts Nashville offers a creative outlet for performers doing original and innovative work. My guest today is Daniel Jones. He's the co-founder and producing artistic director, and just an all-around great guy.
Thank you, Tuwanda.
It's so good to have you here today.
Oh, it's such a pleasure. Thank you for having us.
Oh, absolutely. You know, I'm just so happy that we'll be able to get the word out about what you do, because as I said, we're just home to lots of artists and lots of talented people, but not a lot of outlet for those people who may be doing unique, you know, somewhat unusual things. Talk a little bit about what Kindling Arts Nashville is, and then what you felt was important for this organization to sort of bring to the community.
Absolutely. So Kindling Arts is Nashville's radically unique independent arts incubator, is what we've billed it as. We support innovative new works by local artists in all different mediums and genres. We love to explore things in surprising spaces and really find things that don't have a home anywhere else in Nashville. And that really is where the idea for Kindling came from initially. It was, what kind of work is happening out there that doesn't have a home in the existing institutions, and how can we work with those artists and support artists that are wanting to make work that doesn't have a home elsewhere? A lot of people may not know about Nashville's performing arts scene. You know, obviously the music scene has a lot of attention and spotlight on it, rightfully so, incredibly talented musicians here. The visual arts scene is really upcoming and prominent and beautiful. And the performing arts scene is incredible, and I hope that people will take the dive with us into the deep end of the pool and explore what's going on in the performing arts scene. In 2018, we started this as an annual festival that happens every summer, and now our programming has grown to not only include the festival, but also have other year-round programs and standalone events. And we're becoming a nonprofit this year. It's a big moment of growth for Kindling Arts.
Really, and I am so excited about that. If you are an artist out there, Daniel, that maybe you're doing something unique or different that doesn't necessarily fit into the typical theatrical production that we go to and that we always see, how can someone become a part of what you're doing at Kindling Arts Nashville?
Absolutely. So I would say our most clear line of attack to come in is the festival itself. We have an open application process every year. Unfortunately for 2022, that has now closed because the festival is quickly approaching at the end of July. But that is a great way to introduce yourself. We're also down to meet, of course, anytime around the year. We'll have conversations with any artist, and we love having those sort of opportunities to continue to expand the network of people we're working with. But as people are thinking about, like, is this the right kind of fit for what I'm doing? The questions I would say are like, do you make something in a contemporary form? Are you experimenting with ways of making live performance or art installation? Is it classifiable? Sometimes if it's unclassifiable, that's the exact kind of thing that we want to go for, the thing that doesn't quite fit a mold. And that's really the kind of work that we like to support, is that sense of it doesn't quite fall into what people think of as a play or as a simple dance piece. It's something that's more complex and innovative.
So you created this festival that was going to allow the rest of us in the community the opportunity to be able to see these innovative pieces of work that these artists were doing. And have you done it all 5 years?
Well, we've done it 4 of the 5 years. 2020 was a little bit of a moment, but we did do a lot of virtual content during 2020. We were a very active organization during 2020, which I was very proud of. During the pandemic, we made an incredible body of work, which I'm so pleased that artists were game to try, working in virtual formats, and we did a scavenger hunt dance piece. I mean, we did all sorts of different kinds of things during that time period. But yes, 4 years of in-person festivals. This will be our 4th one. And it's 4 days of a performance extravaganza, basically.
Yeah.
It is like everything, the whole kitchen sink. This year, it's looking like we're going to have somewhere between 17 to 18 projects in it. So that gives you a sense of the scope. There's 5 venues running simultaneously, and you can bop around and see all these different kinds of performance. We've got circus, we've got dance, we've got theater pieces, we have things that don't fall into categories, literary arts, community-based events. Like, it really is quite a lot of different options in one place.
I think you'll discover talented artists, different themes that you may never have ever known about before. It's interesting that you would mention, I just recently learned about the Nashville School for the Aerial Arts.
Yes.
And I went there because so many people was like, we have a what here in Nashville? I was like, we have an aerial arts school, and these people are amazing. So are you partnering with them in some way?
We are partnering with Nashville School for the Aerial Arts for our 2nd year this year. We work with a company called Suspended Gravity that's an incredible aerial and dance company that makes these incredible circus events. They have been a part of the festival every year, including the pandemic year when they made a performance film called In the Eye. And they are amazing, and they helped kind of partner that relationship for us last year. So we're really excited to be back in what we call the circus tent. I mean, it's the big
Yes.
top, right? And that space is incredible. They have classes for aerials as well as like trapeze, and it's really amazing to see what they're up to. So that's one of the venues that we get to partner with this year.
I love that. I love that so much. I'm so curious too, Daniel, about the name, the Kindling Arts.
Yes.
Kindling Arts. How did you come up with that title?
Right. So I co-founded this festival and the organization with Jessica Malone, who was a very prominent local theater director for a long time here in Nashville and now lives in Austin, but still comes back and is heavily involved with all of the programming decisions that we make. And we were coming out of a period where we had been working on a different project, and what we knew going forward is we wanted to work with good people. Like, that was kind of one of our parameters as we approached what is this organization that we want to make. And so one day I was thinking about the word kind, and also thinking about fire imagery for some reason, and this idea of kindling, and actually is perfect because that is what this is. It's kind of this middle step between a spark and a full fire. It's this chance to have this middle ground to start a fire, to really get the creative spirit going and experiment with something. And there's also this lovely community image around gathering around a fire that we also like to embrace this year too. So
I love that.
yeah, so that's kind of where it came from. It's like good people start something.
I love that. What's been the response? Because I'm sure these artists are like, finally, someone who's giving us this creative outlet. So what's the response been like, though, from those who've attended the festival, who found out about you?
Yeah, it has been an incredible ride in a very short amount of time. I mean, that sense of that you were alluding to earlier of, wait, we have this in Nashville, is probably one of my favorite responses because I think people are discovering there are new layers to the city that they maybe didn't know about, and new layers to the artistry. One thing we've also experienced is artists really stepping outside of their comfort zone and creating new work that maybe wouldn't have happened if they didn't have the right vehicle to put it in.
Exactly.
And it really grows them as individual artists. It grows their practice, and there are new pieces that are starting to pop up in other organizations that have started in Kindling, or those artists have started at Kindling, and that's really what we want. The boats rise together, and that's one of our core principles with this organization. There is enough for all of us. We believe in the emergent strategy. There is going to be abundance. And so if that's the case, we're not fighting over pieces of the pie. We are going in and believing that together we will make a stronger arts community and a stronger city by coming all around the same table.
I agree. Do you think there's anything else like this in any other city? And why hasn't anyone thought of this before?
Like, there are definitely things like this in other cities. I mean, we model a little bit of our hopes and dreams off of things like Fusebox Festival in Austin is really exciting. We look at things like Under the Radar in New York, which is this incredible performance festival that is a similar sort of grab bag. There are definitely things like that on a larger scale in other cities, and right now we're definitely in our fledgling phase. We're having huge growth, and I think that, you know, before this, there was a Fringe Festival that existed in Nashville called Sideshow Fringe Festival, and that had a 7-year run, which was very successful. And this is, in a little ways, kind of like the next step, right? So we're kind of stepping a little bit out of the Fringe model while borrowing from the Fringe model and creating this platform for all these multiple artists in these different mediums.
Well, I know folks will want to come to this year's festival if you like unique, unusual, and just talented people doing big things. Last year, because I want to go back and talk about some of the other examples of the types of things that can happen at a festival, because you've done everything from film festivals to just a little of everything. So kind of tell us more about the types of things that you do at the Kindling Arts Festival.
Definitely. So the festival model is known for multiple sort of experiences. One is surprising spaces. We have produced a play in a furniture store, a dance piece in a cocktail bar. We've done things in bear warehouses, and this year's no exception. We're going to be working with Oz Arts Nashville, which is an established performance venue, of course, to do a lot of dance work out there mostly. We're also going to do a movement theater piece that's kind of a karaoke party gone wrong in a Warehouse Ozari Events, right, that we're going to turn into a performance venue, which is very exciting. It's part of the L&L Marketplace. So it's this great, beautiful room, and we're going to do this kind of campy, queer movement theater thing in there called Bar Fight. So that's going to happen this year. We will have the aerial show in the tent, which last year at Nashville School for the Aerial Arts, they had never hosted a public performance before, and we built out that space with the technical equipment to make that aerial show happen with suspended gravity. And this year we'll also be adding a short form aerial showcase for people who are working with pieces that are more like in the 7 to 15 minute range. So people will have a chance to showcase that work there as well. We're going to be working at the Barbershop Theater again, which has been a great partner for us, and we're looking to turn that into a community-based installation that then can have music performances inside of the installation. So you're having a visual art experience with a performance experience, and also have a chance to participate in the making of something, which we're very excited about. And then we'll also be working at the Dark Horse Theater, which is a wonderful indie theater spot on Charlotte Ave, and all of these spots are within sort of a geographic footprint of west of Centennial Park. And that's kind of like our general perimeter. So you can drive to all of them within 5 to 10 minutes, and you can bop around and see all of these different performances. We'll also have some more like party style gatherings, and we're kind of, you know, in the process of figuring some of that out, but we want to have these really lively spaces where community can gather, and especially our arts community, and celebrate each other, especially after this period that has been such a endless pandemic as it's been for so many.
This is, we need this. And I want to talk more, we got to take a break, but I want to talk more just about the importance and how you all have been working with local organizations like Oz, and then also with businesses like L&L Market to say, okay, can we come in and set up in your space? I want to talk more about that.
Absolutely.
Okay, but we'll be back right after this.
Great.